And I just went, this whole show is visual. It's all visual. I won't get a chance to necessarily use that big, huge feeling, but be brave enough to let the camera stay where it needs to be.
I'm Rhea Seehorn, and I play Kim Wexler on Better Call Saul.
Hi, I'm Giancarlo Esposito, and I play Gustavo Fring on Better Call Saul. Going through this process in a show where you have a family of filmmakers that you really adore, and I happen to really adore you, Ray.
I adore you, and you know that. And I always wish I had scenes with you, although, you know, you have to be very careful what you wish for if you want a scene with Gus Fring. It might not end well.
I had the real pleasure of not having to worry about being in front of the camera. I know that you did not. And I know that you had many scenes to do that you also had to direct. I want to know what your experience was.
As far as directing yourself, you know, they offered me all the tools that are available, watching playback, but I figured out pretty quickly that would be a time suck, and making your day was one of my biggest concerns. So I didn't do that. I only did it for things that I literally couldn't even catch a glimpse of, like when Wendy gets shoved out of the car behind me and I'm speaking to Cliff. I had to watch playback of that because I just had no idea of what's the shot behind me.
Jesus.
You son of a bitch! You twisted, deadly piece of shit!
What is that? Howard?
What I did is I rehearsed with my scene partners whenever possible, so that we understood the general architecture of the scene. And I let those guys know over in Video Village, here's 15 different shades I'm looking for Kim in this scene, in addition to being, you know, authentic in my response to whatever my scene partner gives me. And I would check in with them and say, did we get it? Did you see the subtle difficulty? Did you see her have difficulty to decide not to tell Jimmy about Lalo? And then I had to trust them, because the thing I didn't want to do is be in a scene with someone and be watching them as a director. I owe them to be Kim when I'm in the scene. And it was very important to me to not, you know, I've been directed by somebody who is also my scene partner before, and you can feel when the gaze is different, when they're they're observing instead of in it, and it's not fair. So I wanted to be sure not to do that. What did you do? What did you do when you directed yourself and your other things?
I quickly realized I wanted to do the same thing that you came to, was that I didn't want to be a monitor director. I wanted to be close by, but I didn't want to split my attention jumping out of character. So I looked around for who can I trust, and it was Tom Bauer. And I asked Tom, would you spot me? Would you come in on the days where I had heavy scenes and just sit behind the monitor and just watch what I do? And gave him sort of I didn't have 15 things. Oh my gosh.
Oh, shut up. I'm sure you did.
But
maybe you didn't have my binder of charts like I carry around, but you had them.
I would ask him to do the same exact thing, and I had to trust him.
Tell me about the cutting off of someone's foot scene.
It all started with the Zoom call of 25 people, you know, because we were in this COVID motion, and me being very nervous and trying to figure out how to explain what I saw in my head and what I didn't see in my head. And Peter saying, you know, hey, so what do you think? And I'm like, well, what do I think? A guy gets his ankle chopped off. And I started laughing. And at one point I realized, okay, this is how I can describe it. This is how I see it. I don't want the Friday the 13th movie. It would be just too jarring. I want it to be really believable, but I also want you to feel that in this particular scene that has all this heightened emotion of what's going to happen, I want you to also feel like, you know, the possibility of Lalo Salamanca biting it is real. That you don't walk into that scene feeling like he's going to win. It was all about the angles, so I didn't have to see an overabundance of blood, but could feel the gravitas of a bone-chilling, pardon the pun, bone-breaking moment.
Who are you? Who are you?
I realized I wanted to have Lalo really large in the foreground and have him small in the background. And as he leaned in, he would get bigger and bigger. And so you think, oh, he's incapacitated. He may have been really seriously hurt. And then he starts talking, with Tony Dalton's charm. He's starting to charm and figure out how to buy himself some time. And there's another angle to it with the razor behind the card.
Carajo. You broke one of my ribs.
I had read somewhere, talk to your editor every day. I was talking to him about the scene where Jimmy, dressed as Hamlin, is wrestling that parking sign and pulling it out of the ground. It's comedic, but there should be tension there that he might get caught. And Chris had told me the night before, he said, pieces. The more pieces you have, the more we can control that pace. And so I added Hamlin's feet. I added him crossing the atrium bridge, and then I think his keys as he comes around the corner. And I was able to use that so that Chris could cut faster and faster back and forth between Jimmy wrestling and then running to grab the cone, back and forth to Hamlin coming. Now he's on the stairs, now he's turning the corner, and we were able to make that great. But the additional thing I learned that I will never forget is in post, you find out everything you did wrong. And in this moment with Chris, I'm watching this scene, the scene we were talking about, and I was like, man, it would work so much better if I saw where Hamlin went after he bloops the car and goes to the medical office, because then when we return to him coming back, people would understand how close he is, that he's, oh, that bridge is right around the corner. Oh, that stairway is right around the corner. Oh, he's gonna come. But they didn't see where he went the first time. Now, normally when I would see that, I'd just sit there quiet and go, oh, I'm so stupid. I should have gotten it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. And instead I vocalized to the hundreds of craftsmen we have on this show what I wish I had. And I said, I wish I had this, because if we knew where he went, we'd understand the geography of how close he was. And Chris goes, oh, well, they kept the cameras rolling every time Patrick Fabian reset himself. I have him going up the stairs, around the corner, in his costume, crossing the bridge. Every time you told him to go back to one, I'll just use that, and then we'll see. And he put that at the top of the scene, and that's what's in the show, and it works beautifully. Wow. But it made me remember, don't sit in your self-hating anguish. Tell someone what you want, and they probably can help you.
I constantly feel like, oh my goodness, how do you get out of the picture you paint in your head and honor what's connected to another episode? Also, some of my characters in Patrick's wife, Sandrine Holt, did such a wonderful job connected to Vince's episode. So when I went through my divorce to my lovely Joy, who were best friends and share parents of these beautiful kids with, I lived in the guest house. So then I'm dealing with my own emotions of Hamlin in his own guest house. And I'm like, oh shit, I can't shoot this. I can't shoot this. It's too sad. Oh no. And so as it turns out, the day that I had to shoot that and the main house at the same time, and your second unit has to be there, and Paul's running back and forth, I'm running back and forth, and it's like, oh my God, this is my life. I was in that position. I realized, let it go, let it go, let it go. Just talk to Patrick. Just talk to Patrick. Get him into the place he needs to be in, to have that pain, but have hope.
That is for you.
Thanks.
I tell you, I didn't look at much of anything to prepare myself for this episode, but I stumbled upon one thing that I didn't get a chance to really make use of, but it helped me. It was Werner's death. And somehow it came up when I was looking for some other factoid. I was compelled to keep watching it.
That's a beautiful scene.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That scene is so good between these actors, and you're in here and you're in here and you're with them and you're with him and you're with him, and he's talking to his wife. You get a little wider, and then all of a sudden they take this walk, and then you stay all the way out here. And I just went, this whole show is visual. It's all visual. I won't get a chance to necessarily use that big, huge feeling, but understand that, be brave enough to let the camera stay where it needs to be and tell the story for you. I just feel honored to have been able to be asked I think it's a very special position to be able to be invited, and to be invited and have the wonder and joy and inquisitiveness that I think that you bring to it, Ray, which is why I adore you so much.
Giancarlo, you are just astounding as an actor. To be directed by you was just a very special thing for me, and to have been in any show with someone of your caliber and talent and heart is so appreciated, and I will keep it in my heart forever.
Thank you, as will I. Well, we'll see you soon. Thank you, Indiewire.